Hello and welcome to Love from the Other Side. We bring you stories from around the world of people who have shared their near-death experiences. Today, we bring you an experience from Anita. She is the author of Dying to Be Me, My Journey from Cancer to Near Death to True Healing. Here's her story. I had cancer, Hodgkin's lymphoma, and on this morning, I could not move. My husband rushed me to the hospital, where after doing scans, they diagnosed me with grade 4B lymphoma, the highest grade. The senior oncologist looked at my report and told my husband that it was too late, that my organs were now shutting down. I only had 36 hours to live. However, the oncologist said he would do whatever he could, but prepared my husband that I would most likely not make it, as my organs were no longer functioning. They started me on chemotherapy trip as well as oxygen. Then they started to take tests, particularly on my organ functions, so that they could determine which drugs to use. I was drifting in and out of consciousness during this time. I could feel my spirit actually leaving my body. I saw and heard the conversations between my husband and the doctors taking place outside my room, about 40 feet down the hallway. I was later able to verify this conversation to my shocked husband. Then I actually crossed over to another dimension where I was engulfed in a total feeling of love. I also experienced extreme clarity of why I had the cancer, why I had come into this life in the first place, what role everyone in my family played in my life in the grand scheme of things, and generally how life works. The clarity and understanding I obtained in this state is almost indescribable. Words seem to limit the experience. I was at a place where I understood how much more there is that we are able to conceive in our three-dimensional world. I realized what a gift life was, and that I was surrounded by loving spiritual beings who were always around me, even when I did not know it. The amount of love I felt was overwhelming, and from this perspective, I knew how powerful I am. I saw the amazing possibilities we as humans are capable of achieving during a physical life. I found out that my purpose now would be to live heaven on earth using this new understanding and to share this knowledge with other people. However, I had the choice whether to come back into life or to go towards death. I was made to understand that it was not my time, but I always had a choice, and if I chose death, I would not be experiencing a lot of the gifts that the rest of my life still held in store. One of the things I wanted to know was that if I chose life, would I have to come back to this sick body? Because my body was very, very sick, and the organs had stopped functioning. I was then made to understand that if I chose life, my body would heal very quickly. I would see a difference not in months or weeks, but days. I was shown how illnesses start on an energetic level before they become physical. If I chose to go into life, the cancer would be gone from my energy, and my physical body would catch up very quickly. I then understood that when people have medical treatments for illness, it rids the illness only from their body, but not from their energy, so the illness returns very quickly. I realized if I went back, it would be with a very healthy energy. Then the physical body would catch up with the energetic conditions very quickly and permanently. I was given the understanding that this applies to anything, not only illness, physical conditions, psychological conditions, etc. I was shown that everything going on in our lives was dependent on this energy around us, created by us. Nothing was solid. We created our surroundings, our conditions, etc., depending on where this energy was at. The clarity that I received around how we get what we do was phenomenal. It's all about where we are energetically. I was made to see that I was going to see proof of this firsthand if I returned back to my body. I know that I was drifting in and out between the two worlds, but every time I drifted to the other side, I was shown more and more scenes. There was one which showed how my life had touched all the people in it. It was sort of like a tapestry, and it showed how I affected everyone's lives around me. There was another which showed my brother on a plane, having heard the news I was dying, coming to see me. This was verified to me when I started to come around. My brother was there, having just got off a plane. Then I saw a glimpse of my brother and me, and somehow seemed to understand it was a previous life where I was much older than he, and was like a mother to him. In this life, he is older than I am. I saw that in life I was very protective towards him. I suddenly became aware that he was on the plane to come and see me, and I felt, I can't do this to him. I can't let him come and see me dead. Then I also saw how my husband's purpose was linked to mine, and how somehow we had decided to come and experience this life together. If I went, he would probably follow soon after. I was made to understand that as tests had been taken for my organ functions, and the results were not out yet, that if I chose life, the results would show my organs were functioning normally. If I chose death, the results would show organ failure as the cause of death due to cancer. I was able to change the outcome of the test by my choice. I made my choice, and as I started to wake up in a very confused state, as I could not tell which side of the veil I was on, the doctors came rushing into the room with big smiles on their faces, saying to my family, "Good news, we've got the results. Her organs are functioning. We can't believe it. Her body really did seem like it had shut down." After that, I began to recover rapidly. The doctor had been waiting for me to become stable before doing a lymph node biopsy to track the type of cancer cells, and they could not even find a lymph node big enough to even suggest cancer. Upon entering the hospital, my body was filled with swollen lymph nodes. They did a bone marrow biopsy again to find the cancer activity so they could adjust the chemotherapy according to the disease, and there wasn't any in the bone marrow. The doctors were very confused, but put it down to me suddenly responding to the chemo, because they themselves were unable to understand what was going on. They made me undergo test after test, all of which I passed with flying colors. The clearing every test empowered me even more. I had a full body scan, and because they could not find anything, they made the radiologist repeat it again. Because of my experience, I am now sharing with everyone I know that miracles are possible in your life every day. After what I have seen, I realize that absolutely anything is possible and that we did not come here to suffer. Life is supposed to be great. We are very, very loved. The way I look at life has changed dramatically, and I am so glad to have been given a second chance to experience heaven on earth. Well, I hope that you enjoyed that experience today. I thought it was absolutely beautiful and very encouraging. If you would like to read this experience yourself, in addition to a short question and answer session, I will put a link in the description section of this video. I will also put a link to 2 books that she has written in the description section of this video. As always, thank you so much for choosing to spend your time with us today. And if you haven't done so yet, I would love to invite you to be our newest subscriber here on Love from the Other Side. Until next time, God bless.